Frank Haith Show. Brought to you by Pepsi, Don Thornton Cadillac, TTCU, the Credit Union, River Spirit, and St. Francis Health System. And now your host, Bruce Howard.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Frank Haith Show. I'm Bruce Howard, joined by the head men's basketball coach at the University of Tulsa, Frank Haith. And, an interesting week away against Tulane, but then a really nice home victory for you against South Florida on Saturday.
Yeah, we had obviously Tulane was a tough game for us, and we didn't play well, but they played really well. So, and then we came home. We had a really good performance on both ends of the floor, Bruce. I thought our best performance for 40 minutes offensively and defensively in terms of execution, in terms of trust, and really just played our butts off.
Yeah, and especially defensively, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, you really made progress defensively this past week, didn't you?
And that's where we've struggled there, guarding the three-point line, but our percentage numbers in that game were outstanding, and hopefully it's something we can build on.
Absolutely. The Golden Hurricane taking on Tulane away, and then at home against USF. We'll have the highlights coming up, but first it's the trip to New Orleans on the Frank Haith Show. We're back on the Frank Haith Show. Coach, you get ready for the game in New Orleans against Tulane, and the backdrop is a tough loss against Memphis on the previous Sunday. You didn't even have the extra day to get ready to go to New Orleans, so it's kind of a hard turnaround for you.
It was, and the way that game ended, from a mental standpoint, we had the big lead, we lose it in the second half, and defensively we didn't play well and in that second half. And going to Tulane, where a team is much improved, we knew it was going to be a challenge, but I thought we were ready to go compete.
Well, and it's always a tough game in New Orleans at Devlin Fieldhouse against the Green Wave of Tulane, and for TU a chance. Well, as you look, that's Cafe Du Monde in New Orleans. How about that? That is one of the most iconic places in the city of New Orleans, and obviously a little bit of caffeine right there for Sam Griffin. You got going early for you.
He did. The first game I think we started Sam, at the point. But there you see one of our main problems. They made threes, but the dribble drive was what hurt us, and transition defense also hurt us. So those are two things that really made it hard on us, our defense.
Yeah, and in the early going, the first 5-6 minutes, you were certainly competitive.
But there's driving the gap and kicking. So we weren't able to keep that ball in front of us, and they were able to draw help and knock down shots.
Curtis Haywood, very confident on that one, ties the game up at 11.
Yeah, and at this point in time, we got a good feel in terms of just how we needed to play. And, there's Pritch, nice pull-up J, little walk-away screen. They had jumped on us from that 11-11, and now we're trying to just fight our way back here a little bit.
Yeah, they had gone on a 19-1 run. Pritchard ended that, and now here's Nikita Konstantinovsky with a nice basket and the and one.
Nice passing there and good finish. Nikita's making free throws, which I'm glad we showed that, because that's critical when you got a big guy that can make free throws.
And again, Tulane still with a fairly big lead, but you just got to keep battling, and there's Sam Griffin making another three-pointer for you.
Yeah, if we could have held our own here defensively here to finish the half and just kept scoring a little bit and, give ourselves a chance here in the second half.
There's Ray Edo with another nice move for him. He's starting to use that left hand a lot, isn't he?
He is, and he's more comfortable with it and worked on it. And as long as people are one-on-one with Ray, I like Ray's ability to attack there in the post.
And obviously, as you see the score, you're not defending nearly as well as you would like. And here toward the end of the half, give up another three-pointer.
Yeah, and that one was contested, but Ray needed to be, as you and I talked on the radio show, alert and moving on airtime, so he's there on the catch.
Ladavius Drain continues to get better and better for you. He had a great career at Southern Miss, but obviously he continues to improve for you and shooting more often, getting more time. And there you see the halftime stats, Coach. Obviously Tulane's just red hot.
Yeah, and there's nothing about those numbers you like, in terms of field goal shooting and three-point shooting. And when we talked about that last 3 minutes, we needed to just hold our ground, and we didn't. That's where they got the big lead.
Early on in the second half, Tim Dalger with the driving shot and able to get that go and the and one.
Yeah, I thought Tim was pretty aggressive in this ball game, which he needed to be. Nice squeezing, the defense there by DJ, and nice little floater by Sam.
And you can obviously see Tulane is still making some shots, and Tim Dalger, when he can make this shot, we're going to get Tim Dalger in a moment. That's Sam with the three-point shot, which made it 61-39. But in a moment here, we'll see a Tim Dalger three. Boy, if he can make a three for you every once in a while, that really helps.
It will. And, you know, he shot him earlier in the year, and we just need him to continue to be confident and willing to go ahead and shoot that thing.
You know, he'd cut the lead down to nearly 20, and who knows in a game like that. And there's Ray Idowu going inside, but what you couldn't get is a whole lot of stops.
Couldn't get stops, and they kept scoring, and it was a nice little move by Nikita. And I think Nikita's improving. I think he's getting better and better.
Yeah, his post moves continue. You see something every game from him, don't you?
Yeah. And I think he's just confidence, you know, and he's gotten tougher too, which is really important.
Sam Griffin, the three-pointer for the Hurricane, and again, he led Tulsa in scoring. He had 21 in the ball game. Tulane again continues to score, and unfortunately there's a steal, and Baker with the layup.
Yeah, just, you know, Tim not being tight with that handle in terms of dribbling the ball over. Again, nice pull up there by Drain.
And that is the final highlight of this one, as Tulane ends up winning it by a final of 97-63. As again, not much to say about this one, Coach, other than that they were awfully good, and you guys didn't play as well as you normally would.
That's it. That sums it up exactly right there. We didn't play well, but they were some of the reason why we didn't play well. But we were on our terms of our intensity wasn't where it needed to be.
Well, the Golden Hurricane falling in New Orleans against Tulane. But then they come back home on Saturday, taking on USF, the Bulls coming to town. We'll have the highlights from the Reynolds Center in a moment when the Frank Haith Show continues. We're back on the Frank Haith Show, and Coach, after a difficult loss at Tulane, what did you do in the time in between to get ready for the South Florida team here at the Reynolds Center?
You know, Bruce, it was a lot of, not as much preparation. We had some preparation, obviously, going to the game, but the preparation was our mental health, basically, and getting our guys' minds right to compete and what we needed to work on ourselves. And I felt like there was some good, healthy work done in that regards, and going into this game where we wanted to make sure we understood how we must play to be successful.
Well, and for the Golden Hurricane, it's TU taking on USF. Tulsa's never lost to the Bulls. 0-10 for the Bulls, 10-0 for the Hurricane, and you want to keep it that way. And here early on, that's a nice slip by Nikita Konstantinovsky.
Yeah, and that's some prep work there, because they hard hedge and we're able to get a bucket there, nice pass.
And that's a good drive by Sam Griffin, as he had a very good week for you, and it's 4-1 Tulsa.
Yeah, really good drive by Sam, and we've asked Sam to do more of that. He and Drive both, because they're such good three-point shooters, but be willing to deck the ball, and you can get to the free throw line, because the guys want to run you off the line, and they both have ball skills. So it's a matter of being aggressive and attacking when they have those driving opportunities.
And the and one made it 7-2 in the early going. Now it's 7-4, and Darian Jackson with a typical Darian Jackson move.
Yeah, nice post up for a little man right there. Just driving the ball in there, scoring over their big guy.
And now again, that's another paint touch for you, huh?
Really good drive by Sam and good finish in the paint.
See how many times Tulsa actually does get in the paint. It happens a lot when you're playing well, Coach.
It does, and we're obviously a much better team when we get paint touches. And nice pass there by Sam, and I thought our execution transition basketball was really good. Now you see a sit-down three by Jirai in transition.
And now it's 19-13. Golden Hurricane with the lead, and that's a good ball screen by Ray Idowu, and then obviously Jay Money took advantage of it.
Yeah, quick one. We call that quick one. So you're seeing a lot of these transition. These are transition buckets for us, and I thought, like I said, we executed well in transition. Good play by Pritch right there, keeping his dribble alive on the hard hedge and finding Sam on the wing.
So that extends the lead to 6. Moments later, a steal, and Sam Griffin with the layup. And now he may get credit for the steal, but there was a nice deflection there.
Good hands. We talked about wanting to have our hands up and being in a stance better. Nice drive too. Again, talking about Sam putting the ball on the deck because people are running him off the line, and good finish.
The Golden Hurricane get a missed shot there, but what you didn't see was the tricky play there by Pritch, right? Pritch?
Good heads-up play by Pritch, finding Tim right there on the air ball, and no hesitation, and obviously Tim going up and dunking it.
So things going Tulsa's way. Nice lob inside, good catch, good gather, and Jariah Horn gives Tulsa a 13-point lead, and that was your 13-point lead at halftime. Obviously, the numbers looking a whole lot better.
Yeah, and that was a great heads-up play by Pritch on that pass, and he's had a couple plays there at the end, but we're where we needed to be. Look at the defensive numbers, 32% from the floor, 22% from three. That's what I'm most excited about.
So what did you tell them at halftime? Because, you've had halftime leads slip away.
First 4 minutes. We've got to set the tone on a defensive end, but that was a nice move by Nikita. A scouting report says he's a left shoulder guy. He went over his right shoulder with his left hand. Absolutely,
and here's a nice play by Darian Jackson as he outfought the defender for the ball and the putback.
So we wanted to extend the lead, and obviously now we go up 15 right here, and that's in the first 4 minutes. We're up 15 now, and this was important to set the tone. Good cut right there by Drain as Jariah is driving the ball.
And that gets your lead up to 17, and then it starts avalanching from there. And again, the assist for Jariah Horn. Moments later, Jariah Horn would get free for his own three.
But baseline drive, baseline drift, and a one more, good execution.
Lead up to 18 at this point. And this is the point in the game where you're going, okay, now you got to put the pedal down to the metal, right?
Yeah, but good patience, offense, spacing. Obviously, Jariah knocks down the three.
And then a little bit of transition. You end up with the three-pointer and Ladavius Drain nailing it.
Yeah, good pass by Sam. Drain had time and patience to get that shot off.
So now you're starting to really inch it out. And as we go down the backstretch, there's still 10 minutes to go in the game, though. You're up by 20, and that's a nice move by Jariah.
Yeah, really big-time move by Jariah. And spin, pivot, and step through.
Obviously, very nice move there by Curtis Haywood.
We would love to see more of that out of Curtis. Him driving the ball with some fierceness and, attack-oriented. I mean, he didn't get to the free throw line enough. He needs to be more aggressive and play off 2 feet like that.
Yeah, and he's strong enough, obviously, to do that. And now here's off the turnover, you get a 2-on-1, very nice play.
It starts with our transition defense, getting back, knocking that ball loose, not giving him a shot. And then obviously good execution there.
And not giving USF a thought that they can win this game as you, again, extend the lead out to 28.
Notice the movement off the ball, cutting, and I thought we did a really good job sharing that thing, and Dry came off that thing ready to score. Really nice one-on-one move there by Pritch.
And that gets the lead back up to 27 as Anthony Pritchard. Really nice job with the step back, and TU continues to keep USF at bay and increase this lead. And good to see Sterling Gaston Chapman make a shot for you, huh?
Yeah, nice pull-up, Jay. And he's really worked on his game, and I think he's got a bright future, and he continues to work.
So there you have it. Sterling with the bucket for the Golden Hurricane, and really good to see TU play terrific defense in this game and end up winning this game 76-45 to capture your first American Athletic Conference win of the season. And look at those numbers, and I know you're looking right at the defensive numbers first, aren't you?
30% from the floor, 16% from three. We'll win a lot of games. We do that most nights. But we were solid offensively. We talked about the numbers percentages-wise, but we got great shots. We only turned the ball over 7 times, so it was a really good performance on the defensive end and the offensive end.
Well, those defensive numbers, by the way, the best numbers of the year for the Golden Hurricane, and it results in a win over USF. In a moment, we'll be back to talk about upcoming Legends Day here at the Reynolds Center. That's next. We're back on the Frank Haith Show, and Coach doesn't like it when we do this because we're going to look forward to Legends Day here at home. That's coming up. But certainly Legends Day is important to see the former players come back, isn't it?
It is, and that's something we stressed since we've been here, and as a family, bringing our own back and celebrating them. And I mean, there's great tradition here at Tulsa and our program over the years. So it's exciting moment for us.
Absolutely, and we will pay particular focus on the 81 team, the NIT championship team, and then the 82 team as well. And here's a closer look at that 1982 team, which kind of goes under the radar. Anyone who follows TU basketball knows about the 1980-1981 season, the magical year for first-year head coach Nolan Richardson, the 26-7 record, and NIT championship. And with good reason. It was a year that turned around the Hurricane program. But the next year, 1981-82, gets lost in the glitter of the previous year's championship. That team may be considered one of the most underrated in TU history.
The 1981-82 team rode on the wave of momentum created from the NIT championship the previous year and was even better.
Paul Pressey played both of those years, and he agrees.
I think so because of what we had the years before. And, when you get to the NCAA tournament, it's a whole different level of play.
This is a team that really had a good chance to get to the Final Four if David Brown had not suffered an injury. With the addition of talented freshmen like Steve Harris, who turned out to be one of TU's all-time greats, and Herbert Johnson, to a team that returned most of its starters except for Bob Stevenson from the previous year. The team really played at a high level all season long.
After finishing second in the Missouri Valley Conference in the regular season, TU was in decent shape for the NCAA tournament, but they wanted to make sure. And in the MVC tournament title game in Tulsa, the Hurricane dominated Illinois State to get their first NCAA bid since 1955. But their first-round opponent in the NCAAs was a young Houston Cougars team, a young team that would evolve into Phi Slamma Jamma.
When you think about their team, you try to think about one or two guys, but they had like 5 or 6 that were really good.
It was a team that even a lot of people around the country really didn't know much about. Phi Slamma Jamma wasn't really known at that time. But they had some incredible talent: Clyde Drexler, Akeem Olajuwon, Rob Williams, and several other players.
We played right there with them. We didn't get a break here and there, whether it was a open jump shot, a couple of free throws, didn't turn the ball over here and there, whatever it was, we didn't lose it at the end. We lost it in that middle somewhere to where we could have and made them chase us.
TU battled tooth and nail. It just couldn't quite get over the hump in a disappointing 78-74 loss. Still, it was a 24-6 season and an NCAA bid.
It was awesome. It was an awesome time to finish. It was a great way to finish your senior year. Yes, we wanted to win, but the way we played and competed, and we all felt the same thing when the game was over with.
Celebrate Legends Day with us on February 12th as we salute those first 2 Nolan Richardson teams, along with all veterans of TU men's and women's basketball invited back in a doubleheader at the Reynolds Center. The women in the afternoon and the men that evening. And so we hope you join us on Legends Day. And Coach, there's no question about it, some of those Nolan Richardson teams led by Paul Pressey, who you know personally, really kind of the core of what we're all about, huh?
Yeah, those teams were outstanding. They were fun to watch, and Paul's one of my dear friends. I actually coached both his sons at Missouri, and he's up with Mike at St. John's. But those teams were exciting. I mean, the Rubber Band Man, exciting player.
Absolutely. We'll see you on the 12th for Legends Day here at the Reynolds Center. Back with more in a moment. We're back on the Frank Haith Show, and Coach, if you're going to be road warriors, it's what we talked about at the end of the USF game. Yeah. Defense travels, doesn't it?
Defense travels, and we got our hands full here against Wichita State. They're a very talented group. I mean, had some great wins early in the year on the road at Oklahoma State, on the road at Missouri, and going overtime to Arizona, one of the best teams in the country. So they're very capable. I know their record's not what they wanted. They've had some close losses like us, 2 really tight losses against Tulane. And then you go to Temple, where they're having a really good year. So it's a big week for us, but a great opportunity.
Yeah, and you do talk about going on the road and being successful, and certainly if you can replicate, or at least closely replicate what you saw against USF, you'll have a fighting chance in both those games.
You will. If you defend like we did against USF, and we're in the gaps, we're in the stance, and we're blocking out, we're rebounding the ball, we're going to have a chance, regardless of what we do on offense. I mean, that'll carry us, and that's what we got to understand. And our mentality has to understand that it will give us a chance. And so I feel good about where we're at, with the win and how we won on Saturday against South Florida, and hopefully it carries over.
Well, and that's the other thing is, speaking of a chance, hey, you still have a big chance this year. The game on Tuesday, that's only the halfway point of the season in the league.
Yeah.
So there's lots of room.
There's a lot to play for and get momentum. I've seen crazy things in college basketball.
Absolutely. So we will talk to you next week when Tulsa comes back off the road on the Frank Haith Show.
This has been a presentation from Learfield,